Happy Pride Month, by the way. I can't believe I forgot to say that. Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Sabrina and welcome back to my book nook. It's been so long since I sat down and did a video. I'm so sorry about that. I've just actually been so crazy busy with school and with finals and with just managing everything and working 2 jobs right now. It's a lot. Maybe have some leniency with me and just my uploading schedule, which is a little bit of a mess right now. Yeah, I'm so excited to jump into today's video. I'm just going to be doing a TBR video. I've done these in the past before, but I actually have a lot of books on my TBR for this summer just because I've been going to the library a lot, so I've been checking out a lot of books in the library. And I have no self-control. I go to the library like 3 times a week and I just check out a book every single time I go. That's what we're going to be doing for today. But first, I'd like to give a shout out to today's sponsor, BetterHelp. So thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it's 100% online. As y'all know, I'm a pretty big advocate for prioritizing mental health. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just have to answer a few questions about like your needs and preferences for therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. It's kind of like a customize your own little character thing, you know what I mean? And then you can just like talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's text, chat, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time, and if your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist for no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you can get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is customized for you and with more flexibility in their schedule and a more affordable price. And if you use the link in my video description and in my comment section, you can get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/booknook. Yeah, thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Alright, so let's get straight into the video now. My first book is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is my favorite book of all time. I haven't had a chance to reread it at all. I think the last time I read it was like May of last year, so it's been a hot minute since I read it. As you can see, it's very well loved, and I just kind of feel like I'm like back in my Secret History era, you know what I mean? If I don't get around to it this summer though, I think I might read it when I go back to school because it is such a fall book. I miss this book. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if you can miss reading a book, but I do with this book. So I have been meaning to give this a reread and hoping that with more free-ish time over the summer I can finally get back into it. So next book on my TBR is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I've read the first couple of pages of this, but I did buy a new copy from Thrift Books for super cheap, by the way. I have it already in this like giant like 4-book thing. I just cannot read books like that. It makes me feel like I'm reading a textbook, so I bought a new copy, and from the first like 10-15 pages I read, I can immediately tell this might be my new favorite Jane Austen book. There's like a line, I think, where Marianne says like something about a man being the worst thing in the world, and I was like, girl, you're so right for that. Like, but yeah, I love Jane Austen. I didn't realize this was like a controversial opinion. It's not, by the way. It just is for me and my like personal circle of people I know that also read classics. They don't like Jane Austen for some reason. I'm like, why? She's like the ultimate like author. Next book is Alone with You in the Ether by Olivie Blake. I've read about the first 30 pages of this book and I have been reading it for like the past 2 months, so I really do need to finish this. I have read Atlas 6 by Olivie Blake, and that one also took me a very long time to read, so I'm anticipating this to be a long read for me. I think that Olivie Blake has a very particular writing style that takes me a while to digest and sort of comb through. I heard a lot of good things about this book. I don't want this to be a DNF, so I'm putting this on my TBR just so I can be more hopeful, I think. Right now it's not looking too hot. Next book on my TBR is A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. It's a stage play and it has that famous movie with Marlon Brando where he's like standing outside the porch or something yelling like, Stella! I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I have 2 very stupid reasons I got this book. One was because right now I think Paul Mescal is starring in an adaptation of A Streetcar Named Desire, and that just sort of bumped that into my memory, and I was like, ooh, like what if I imagined Paul Mescal the entire time I was reading this? And then second, I don't know why this popped into my mind, but I'm going to AP Literature next year and I really want the teacher to like me, and I don't know why I thought this would make her like me, but I was like, oh, if I like go in like First Date as Holler. Oh yeah, I read a bunch of classic books over the summer. I don't know if you heard them, like The Streetcar Named Desire. I just thought that was like a really classy pick. I bought it off thrift books for like $4. It was so cheap. Once More with Feeling by Eliza Sussman. I have Funny You Should Ask, and I actually kind of like that one. I actually didn't know she was releasing a second book until one of my friends texted me and she was like, OMG, like new Eliza Sussman book, and I was like, oh really? Like, okay, next time we go to Target I'll buy it. And it was 20% off. It's the same thing. I'm pretty sure it's like a celebrity pop star romance or something like that, like Hollywood romance. I'm actually kind of into that, not gonna lie. I know Funny You Should Ask was a Chris Evans fanfic. I don't know if this one is as well, but I will be looking at TikToks to see if anybody makes any connections to current celebrities so I can picture who I'm reading. Funny You Should Ask was good enough. I think there were certain parts I was iffy on, but I'm hoping that with this one it'll only get better. Next book on the TBR list is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Okay, I literally got this yesterday. The day it came out, I went straight from work. I was all sweaty and gross, and I went into Barnes & Noble, and it was like the first thing I saw, so I grabbed it, went immediately into the checkout line, and the worker was like, big day, huh? I had to get it. I'm pretty sure it is a Magnus Chase fanfic. Okay, I don't know how confident I am about that, but I am so excited for this. It's taken everything in me to not immediately binge it, and the only reason I haven't is because I have to get up really early every morning for work, so I literally can't afford to stay up all night and binge it. But I will be this weekend. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Like, I know out of all the books on this TBR, this is the one 100% for sure I'm going to finish by the end of the summer. I love Ali Hazelwood. She writes the exact same story over and over and over again, but I eat it up every single time. The rest of these books are all from the library. Do I Know You by Emily Wibberley and Austen Sigmund Broga. They wrote The Roughest Draft, and that's one of my favorite romance books of all time. So when I saw this at the library, I definitely wanted to give it a chance. As you can see, I'm currently reading it. I'm about 60 pages in. A lot of these books I kind of started but haven't finished. I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised with this so far. It's kind of good. I don't really know what to expect. I'm a little worried though, because usually with romance books I get into them really quickly, and it has been taking me a little bit to just sort of get into this. Also, it's about like a little trip vacation romance, so I feel like that's kind of in the summer mood, you know what I mean? It's A Venom, Dark and Sweet by Judy I. Lin. So this is the sequel to A Magic Steeped in Poison, and it's a YA fantasy, and I haven't picked up a YA fantasy in so long, but I actually went through A Magic Steeped in Poison really quickly. I also got that from the library, and it was surprisingly good. It really reminded me why I love YA fantasy so much in the first place, all the world building and just like action and romance and just all the fantastical elements in it. Oh, I just love it and how they all tie together. So I immediately got the sequel to it, which thank god was in stock at my library. I haven't had a chance to read it so far, but I'm really excited. I feel like I'm definitely gonna binge it when I do have a chance to sit down and read it. I'm a little worried though, because sequels are never as good as the original, but I feel like the author was a very strong writer, especially for this being like her debut duology. I definitely like all the Asian elements tied into it as well. I think that's really cool. I would definitely recommend this as a YA fantasy duology to check out if you're into that kind of genre. Orpheus Girl by Bryn Rebel Henry. Happy Pride Month, by the way. I can't believe I forgot to say that. But Orpheus Girl is about okay, it's really bad timing that I just cheered, because Orpheus Girl is about a girl who gets sent to conversion therapy. Should I have cheered before that? No. It is a sapphic story. I believe it's about this girl in like some rural town in Texas, and it's a very loose retelling of Orpheus and Eurydice, and I thought that premise alone was very interesting, and also looked like a very short read, which I'm very attracted to. A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow by Laura Taylor Natey. So I got this because I'm pretty sure a movie is coming out with Kit Connor in it, and I've been meaning to check this out for a while. I read the plot summary inside. I was really intrigued. I feel like it's also very summery. I think it's set in the summer, possibly, maybe. Yes, a summer in England. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I've been needing a cute little YA romance to sort of uplift my mood. You know what I mean? Summer is just a time to be happy. So I am trying to pick a lot of happy books. That's kind of a theme of the season's TBR, you know, happy, romance, la 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 la. Yes. The final book on my TBR list is Pride and Premeditation by Tirzah Price. As y'all can tell, I love Jane Austen, and it is a Jane Austen murder mystery. It was on my TBR a couple years ago, but I took it off because I totally forgot about it. And then I was just at the library and I found it. I was like, oh wait, I remember this book. I've been meaning to read it. I read a couple pages inside to see if it was worth reading, and it honestly looked really fun, kind of campy. Okay, I don't know how to feel about this though, because apparently Lizzie is 16 and Mr. Darcy is the lawyer of the case. So what is the age gap here? Unless I read the plot something wrong. It says he's a young heir training to take over. How young? That's all I want to say. Thank you so much if you watched this entire thing. Subscribe, only if you want to though, and I will see you next time. Bye!